So welcome, everyone. This is Nancy Desjardins from healthlady.com, and I'm calling in from Georgetown, Ontario in Canada. And I'll be your host today. So today on the call, we have Dr. Sat Dharamkar, and we'll discuss her Sauna Detoxification program. So what to do before, during, and after the sauna. So many of you already have a sauna, so this class is definitely for you. So she'll also share an herbal tea recipe to drink during your sauna session. Okay, so a few announcements. If you missed my teleclass last week called Naturally Detox Your Body While Relaxing at Home with Ronnie Palmer, North America's leading designer of medical-grade infrared saunas, well, you'll get a chance to listen to the replay on my blog. So visit healthlady.com. Again, it's healthlady.com. And click on blog, and it's the first blog post, okay? And it's called Naturally Detox Your Body While Relaxing at Home. Far infrared sauna is state-of-the-art technology used in top detoxification clinics in around the world and a lifetime investment in your health. So when you listen to the interview, you'll know why this is the one I recommend and also the one I use. So if you suffer from asthma, blood pressure, chronic fatigue, heavy metal toxicity, fibromyalgia, psoriasis, weight gain, hormone imbalance, then listen to this interview and you'll love it. October 30th, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, we'll have on my show Dr. Joseph Collins for the third time. And no, it's not for the third time, it's for the fourth time. We'll discuss the effect of chronic exhaustion on your body, plus Dr. Collins' protocol. So make a note on your calendar so you don't miss this. It's Wednesday, October 30th at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. So now about Dr. Sat Dharamkar. Dr. Carr is a naturopathic doctor practicing in Owen Sound, Ontario in Canada, at the Grey Spruce Naturopathic Center. And for a long time, she's been teaching breast health at the Canadian College of Naturopathic Medicine to the third-year students and also at weekend workshops. And she's been researching breast health for about 21 years. She also teaches a lot of Kundalini yoga and teach people to be teachers of Kundalini yoga. She also the author of 2 books, The Complete Natural Medicine Guide to Women's Health and The Complete Natural Medicine Guide to Breast Cancer. Visit her 2 websites. The two, one is the mamalive.net, okay, so mamalive.net, and the second one is healthybreastprogram.on.ca. And you can also call Dr. Carr's clinic to set up an appointment. It's 519-372-9212, so 519-372-9212. So welcome to the show, Dr. Carr, and thanks for joining us today.
Thank you very much, Nancy. It's great to be here.
This is our second interview. Well, technically it's our third interview. We did one to live at your clinic, so it's a great honor to have you on the call today. So, Dr. Carr, in your book, The Complete Natural Medicine Guide to Women's Health, you have a section on your fall program. And because you have a program for winter, for summer, for spring, but this one is a fall program. So you talked about specific organs in our body associated with the fall period. So can we start with that?
Sure. It's beautiful timing that you called me this day. In Chinese medicine, each of the seasons is associated with 2 organs, and those organs are most vulnerable at that particular season and most active at that particular season. So in the fall, the 2 organs associated are the lungs and the large intestine. And in the Chinese system, these organs are also associated with the metal element, and they govern the skin. So in the fall, you want to make sure that you do a nice colon cleanse with about 45 grams of fiber a day, that you consider doing a yeast or a parasite cleanse, and that you might consider doing a sauna detox as well as a heavy metal detox. And so I've designed this 4-season cleansing process so that we can focus on 2 organs and other parts of the body every season, and it's not overwhelming to try to do it all at once. And the reason that I'm laughing at this is that I just finished, not just finished, I'm in the process of doing this fall cleanse myself, in sound, and my daughter is starting the program. She's a Kundalini yoga teacher as well, and they'll be offering it at Lotus Yoga Studio in Toronto starting on Tuesday. So it's this fall cleanse and detox with a particular diet as well as the yoga every morning for 5 days, and then followed by yoga on video if they want afterwards.
Well, I love your program, because like you mentioned, you divide it in 4, like you divide the season, so it's fairly easy to follow. You said it's a good time to cleanse the colon, and in your book you have a recipe, a fiber drink, but you also add the activated charcoal tablets. Why is that?
The activated charcoal will, especially if you're doing the sauna, will pull out more of the toxins. So it absorbs the toxins the same way that bentonite does. So both bentonite and activated charcoal are really good for decreasing the toxic burden, and then you'll excrete those toxins just a little bit more than if you were to do simply psyllium seed powder or some fiber. So it drags out more of the toxic load.
Okay. If you just join in, you're listening to Dr. Sadhdaram Kaur, and the recipes for the fiber drink and other recipes we'll talk about. It's available in the Complete Natural Medicine Guide to Women's Health. That's a book that I have and I use all the time as a reference book. And I've recommended your book to so many clients, Dr. Kaur. It's just like you were really ahead of your time when you wrote those 2 books. I mean, we're going back. How long ago?
Well, let me just see. I wrote the first book on breast cancer in 2000, and then which is still valid. The only thing I missed was the vitamin D. We didn't know how important vitamin D was then. Mm-hmm. And then the second book on breast cancer, I think, was 2003, if I'm not mistaken. And then the Women's Health was 2005. Yeah. Complete Natural Medicine Guide to Breast Cancer was 2003, and then Women's Health was 2005. And I did a lot of research. I also did a lot of thinking about how everything fit together in the body and what was related to what. And I think I pulled a lot of pieces together that hadn't been together before that. And my discovery of how important sauna detoxification would be was like a light bulb went off, because I was trying to figure out how we could protect women from breast cancer in terms of the environmental load, because it seemed there was no way to do it. We were just so inundated with chemicals. And then I came upon just a little bit of research about how sauna detoxification could be effective in causing us to sweat out many of the environmental chemicals. And that was my, yes, there's hope, a big realization.
Well, we were talking about you on my last interview with Rodney Palmer about your research. Yes, so yeah. I was glad that he mentioned your name. But during our last interview together, Dr. Kaur, you mentioned that if you shared that you said that if you consider having children or you haven't conceived yet, stop and go in a sauna for a year. Like that would be 100 to 150 hours for detoxification.
That's right.
Let's talk about that.
Okay. Well, it's apparent that all of us, especially those of us that eat more animal protein or animal fat, will have a higher load of environmental chemicals those environmental chemicals are causing learning disabilities, autism, breast cancer, prostate cancer, immune deficiency, many of the diseases we see now that are sort of like an epidemic or that are almost hidden, people. It didn't used to be when I went to school many years ago that a whole bunch of kids in the class had learning disabilities. It's a fairly new phenomenon, so we have to ask ourselves where's that coming from. And so the environmental chemicals are stored in the fat of the animal. So butter and cheese and fish are the highest sources of them. And as the animal eats a smaller animal, it gets a double load. So any animal that eats another animal will have more. And then when we eat those animals, if we eat those animals, then we get that environmental burden, and we store it in our own fat cells. And we pass that burden on to our children in utero and through breastfeeding. And there was one study that suggested that we passed 50% of our lifetime body burden onto the first child in the first 6 months of breastfeeding.
Wow.
And that's kind of an intolerable statistic. I mean, it just, you don't want to believe it. And if you look at I have some graphs of PCB content of various foods, and if you look at human breast milk, it's fairly highly contaminated with PCBs. And we know that PCBs are one of the environmental chemicals that can cause breast cancer, certain PCBs. So you put all this together, and it's a recipe for disaster in terms of our health. Mm-hmm. And many of those environmental chemicals, including PCBs, plastics, and pesticides, dioxin, heavy metals, they act synergistically together to have a collective effect that's thousands of times more powerful than the effect of only one chemical. And then that'll affect the fetus in utero, and it'll affect the reproductive system in utero, and it'll make us more prone to all of these common ailments that we have now, including learning disabilities, immune dysfunction, and cancers like hormonal-related cancers, because many of these environmental chemicals are mimicking estrogen. So that's the problem. So what we can do, though, is there's a little bit of research that suggested, well, the research that I did with Rodney Palmer suggested that in 50 hours we could eliminate 25% of our body burden. So we tested many of the chemicals before and after 50 hours of sauna detox. And so then you do the math, and if you want to get rid of 100%, it's about 150 hours in the sauna of sweating, actual sweating. It could be done also with physical exercise, but we have to sweat out those toxins. And the more we sweat, the more we then drag them out from deeper layers of the tissue, so they eventually go out through the skin. And we want to do that before we get pregnant, because then we're not passing on this burden to the next generation, and then the future generations have some hope of perhaps not having the immune deficiency diseases, the learning disabilities, and the breast cancers that this generation has. That's the only way to reverse the trend, as far as I can tell.
Ronnie used the term and phrase preconception optimization.
Beautiful. That's exactly what we should call it. It's a little heady, but if people understand what it means, it's great.
Yeah, but the answer really is, so you spend 150 hours in a sauna, so you can eliminate approximately 80-90% of your lifetime body burden of environmental chemicals?
Yeah.
Okay. What a difference. Since I've been pretty regular taking saunas, what a difference. Even my skin condition, mind that I never had, severe skin condition, but my skin feels so soft. But I know, oh, it's you, and I sleep well at night too, and I also do hot yoga, and it's quite intensive. But I really believe that the sauna really helps me with my stamina, and so I feel wonderful. But I know we're gonna dive into the your protocol of sauna detoxification program, which I do use in your supplement recommendation and also your tea. I love your tea. It tastes really, really good too.
Oh, good.
And we're also going to, if you don't mind, I would like to share the recipe of your tea. But before you talk about estrogen dominance, I mean, it's a huge issue right now, eh? The estrogen dominance, it's an epidemic right now. It's
an epidemic, yeah. And it's virtually unrecognized among the regular medical profession or among the public. They don't quite get it,
No.
But the estrogen dominance is also related to underactive thyroid, so estrogen suppresses the thyroid, so there's an epidemic also of hypothyroidism. And then progesterone deficiency. So progesterone is interfered with in utero by some of the plastics, like the phthalates will suppress progesterone. So young girls will grow up often with a progesterone deficiency, And then with estrogen dominance caused by all the environmental chemicals that mimic estrogen and caused by eating foods that contain estrogen, like meats and dairy and cheese and eggs and things like that.
Yeah.
And so we'll end up with breast development at a younger age, bigger breasts, more fat, etc.
So, and you also mentioned that the liver has to break the estrogen down. So if there's a lot of toxin affecting the liver, that's
right.
It
So
from
the liver,
the
liver will have a hard time managing the estrogen unless we help it out a lot and have quite a clean diet with mostly organic food and try to eliminate some of the toxic chemicals in our homes, like use cleansers with baking soda and vinegar rather than chlorine, etc. Stay out of chlorine pools. Try to switch to saltwater pools, and then support the liver with B complex, magnesium, N-acetylcysteine, curcumin, indole 3-carbinol, and some herbs like milk thistle, dandelion, schizandra. So we can improve the liver's ability to detoxify estrogens and environmental chemicals, and we kind of need to these days because there's so many of them. And then the other piece is you want to increase water intake and fiber intake because you eliminate that estrogen through the urine and through the bowel. So aim for 3 bowel movements a day and 3 liters of water a day. And then we're doing the best we can. We have to try to get rid of the estrogen from our foods. The phytoestrogens are fine. It would be the animal protein estrogens that are not. And then support the liver and support the bowel and kidneys.
Okay. And if you're listening via webcast, so feel free to submit any questions. So we'll do our best to answer your question. So now let's move on to the direction for Sauna Detoxification program. So duration, we talk about 80 to 150 hours for sauna. So would you recommend, this is in a course of 1 year?
Well, you do it everyone will have a different schedule, and so you have to look at your schedule and see what's possible. So some people could do an hour a day over 150 days. Some people could do an hour twice a day over 150 over half that time, and other people would probably do a half an hour 3 times a week, right? So you've got to just do the best you can without getting all hung up on it of, well, I can't do this, so I'm not going to do it at all. So it varies really of the length of time it'll take for everybody. But know that after about 150 hours, you will have done a really great job at eliminating those environmental chemicals.
And sauna selection, we talked about this with Ronnie Palmer last week.
Yeah.
But Dr. Carr and myself, we happen to have the same sauna, which is from saunaray.com. And you have one at your clinic. So so you have people on a regular basis using your sauna at the clinic.
Mm-hmm. And I use it myself.
And you use it yourself, because you do spend you do work 40 hours, 45 hours a week at the clinic. So
yeah, in fact, I had a really nice sauna this morning, and I had one yesterday. I try to do about 3 hours a week myself in the sauna. And I love it. I really enjoy it because mine is I think it's 6 by 7, so it's easy to lie down in it. So I'll use it to have my nap. So I'll lie in the sauna and go to sleep and have a nap for 20 minutes or 30 minutes, and I just feel incredible afterwards. It's beautiful.
I'm sure you heard about the Cycle Sauna, the new sauna from Ronnie.
No, I haven't.
There's
a
bike.
No.
There's a bike. There's a bike.
There's a bike in it.
Amazing. And you need a bigger sauna. I have the 2-seater sauna, so mine is not big enough, but yours would be big enough. So I
don't want a bike in my sauna. I want to relax in my sauna.
Well, that's how I felt too. But I said, my husband was. I said that would be interesting. He's a hockey. He started playing hockey, so he's more into the hardcore exercise. But this is great. So and again, so listen to, as far as the sauna selection to listen to. You can just listen to the interview with Ronnie Palmer. And as far as caution, is there if you're taking any medication do you have to be careful?
Yes, because because you're going to be sweating, you could, number one, sweat out some of your medications, so you might appear to have a lower dose than you actually took. Also, it could be metabolized more quickly, so your liver may detox it a little more quickly in the sauna because of the increased blood flow that happens with, especially an infrared sauna. So it's just something to be aware of. I haven't usually found it to be a big problem, but you need to be aware of that. Also, if you are anemic, if you have a low red blood cell count, then you might be more inclined to faint in the sauna. So sometimes it's a good idea to make sure either you're in there with somebody or someone's spotting you every 15 or 20 minutes or so to make sure you're okay. If someone has seizures, you wouldn't want to have them alone in a sauna because in case they had a seizure. And also, I had one person once faint in my sauna. She was hypoglycemic and she hadn't eaten for like 3-4 hours, and then she came early in the morning without eating. Luckily, she was with somebody else in the sauna, so it was fine. But be careful about things like blood sugar issues. And of course, lymphedema. So if somebody has swelling because of lymphedema, they really can't use the sauna.
Okay. And then over time, we'll sweat out our vitamins and minerals during the sauna, so the sauna program. So we need to stock before and replenish after the program.
This is huge. This is really, really, really huge. Because I found when I did the study with Rodney that people really needed to be supported with a good multivitamin, with extra calcium, magnesium, with a little bit of support for the liver, like the NAC or curcumin, because they're not only sweating the toxins out through the skin, but we're also causing them to be released into the bloodstream quicker, and then the liver has to detoxify what comes to it through the blood, and it has to be eliminated then through the kidneys. And that's the part, that was the weak link. So I would highly recommend that people take not only fairly high doses of good multivitamin, extra calcium, magnesium, some flaxseed oil or fish oil, but also support the liver with things like NAC and curcumin, maybe indole-3-carbinol.
And that was
does a better job.
Yeah, and that was the extra supplement. The extra supplements that you recommend after the sauna, that was a huge, I saw like a huge difference with taking those. So before the sauna, you recommend, like you mentioned, the oils, specific oils. You mentioned evening primrose oil, flaxseed oil, fish oil, olive oil. So why olive oil?
Olive oil because it helps move the bile, right? So the bile moves the gallbladder, the bile moves through the liver, so the bile is going to help carry the toxins out of the liver as well. So a little bit of olive oil. And then the other really important thing is the alkaline powder. So one of the things that happens in the sauna is you'll sweat out your alkaline minerals. So you'll sweat out calcium and magnesium through your skin. And you've got to then take alkaline minerals. I like people to take 1 teaspoon for every hour they're in the sauna. That would be a combo of sodium bicarbonate, potassium bicarbonate, calcium carbonate, magnesium carbonate. And then they don't feel so faint. So some people will get in the sauna and they'll feel horrible afterwards. They'll feel weak, they'll feel faint, and it's likely because they've lost some of their alkaline minerals and they haven't taken their multivitamin, etc. So it really makes a difference in terms of how long you feel comfortable in the sauna if you support yourself with these nutritional pieces before and after.
I'll do the alkaline salt water before, during, and also after. Is that too much?
That's a good idea. No, that's perfect.
Okay. And which brand? I mean, someone was asking me the other day which brand. I mean, I'm using a specific brand here in the office. Which brand would you recommend? I mean, there's so many out there.
Well, I get mine compounded. So the recipe that I use, I take it to a compounding pharmacist, and they make me up a big tub. But it's 30% sodium bicarbonate, 30% potassium bicarbonate, 26% calcium carbonate, and 24% calcium carbonate, and 16% magnesium carbonate. And I've been using that for a number of years, and that seems to work really well. And a lot of them have a really high amount of the sodium bicarbonate, which is not very great for people with high blood pressure. And so I like one that has equal sodium and potassium bicarbonate. I found I was using for a few years one that had a little bit more potassium than sodium, and some people ended up with too much potassium because of that. So now I've got this 30-30 ratio of sodium and potassium bicarbonate, which seems to work really well.
So can we order the the mineral salt from your office? Or do you sell
You
those?
you could, or any healthcare practitioner could give you a script just with that recipe, and you can take it to a compounding pharmacist, and they could make it up. But yeah,
Oh,
I could mail it out to people. And the other one, Pasco makes one called Alka Base that is a little bit different, but it has less of the sodium bicarbonate than some of the other ones.
okay, good. And well, the one that I'm using, I mean, I'm sure it's the one that I'm using. It's called pH Miracle. It's from what's his name, Dr. Robert Young. Do you know which
what's
one?
in it? Yeah, I don't know. Do you know the ratio of what's in it?
Well, it's sodium bicarbonate, potassium bicarbonate, magnesium chloride, calcium chloride, but it says 4.93 a gram, but it doesn't break it down though.
So you don't know the ratios? Yeah, you don't know the ratios.
Yeah,
so that's what you need to know is the ratios of the sodium, the potassium, the calcium, the magnesium.
Okay, I'll give them a call. I'll find out. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
but that's and also 2 meals. You recommend to wait an hour before eating before going into the sauna.
Right, because you need that. If you eat, you need your energy and your blood to be focused on digestion and not on sweating and all that stuff. So you wait an hour after eating before going to the sauna. Try to drink 1 to 2 liters of water before your sauna so that you will be flushing out your kidneys and not become dehydrated in the sauna. It's quite easy to become dehydrated in the sauna. It's also good to do a little bit of exercise before you get in the sauna so that you've activated the circulation and activated the lymph. It's useful to do skin brushing before you go into the sauna after the exercise. So you brush with the dry skin brush from the feet upwards towards the heart, from the hands upwards towards the heart, and that activates the lymph. And it's also good, especially if you have high blood pressure or low blood pressure or anything irregular about your pulse, to check your blood pressure, your pulse, your temperature, and your weight before and after going into the sauna so that you have a sense of what the sauna is doing for those variables. And then continue to drink water or herbal tea inside the sauna if you're going to be in there for anything longer than 15 minutes.
And herbal tea, this is the one. So I really love that tea, and I add the alkalized, the mineral salt in the tea. So, do you mind sharing the recipe for the tea? You don't have you just like the herbs. Do you mind sharing those herbs for the herbal tea?
Yeah. So it was an equal mixture of burdock, cleavers, milk thistle, dandelion, red clover, yarrow, peppermint, and licorice, Chinese licorice. So the licorice makes it a little bit sweet, which is nice. The peppermint gives it more flavor. The burdock is a blood cleanser and supports the liver and the lymph. Cleavers supports the lymphatic system. Milk thistle supports the liver. Dandelion supports the liver and kidney. Red clover is a blood cleanser and a lymphatic cleanser. And the yarrow also is a lymph and blood cleanser and helps you sweat a little bit more. So it's a nice cleanser, for the liver, the kidneys, the lymph, as well as something interesting to drink while you're in the sauna.
And it's rich in mineral.
Yes, it's high in the minerals.
Okay.
The dandelion, burdock especially would be, and the red clover. Those are tonics, rich in minerals.
So I'll repeat the herbs. So it's equal mixture of burdock, cleavers, milk thistle, dandelion, red clover, yarrow, peppermint, and Chinese licorice. Go to herbal store, health food store, and I'm sure you'll be able to find those locally. And but it tastes really good. I really love that tea. So that's great. And how, it's amazing, the exercise and also the dry skin brush. It really speeds up the process,
Yes,
especially our skin is the largest organ of elimination, so you open
That's
up
right.
the pores. Mm-hmm.
Right, and it's good to do that before you get in, and then you'll just maximize the efficiency of sweating once you're in the sauna.
And how important is it to wipe off our sweat
Really important, because you want to have, I tell my patients to bring 5 towels when they use the sauna. So you don't want to leave any sweat behind, because the sweat would contain toxins. So you want all the sweat to be contained in your towels. So in an infrared sauna, you sweat quite a bit. So you'll need, if you're lying down, probably 2 layers of towels to lie on. And if you're sitting, you'll need another towel behind you. You want 1 towel to dry off after you come out of the shower, and then you want 1 towel to dry off with when you're in the sauna. So it's the sweat that will contain those chemicals, and if you were to not dry yourself, not wipe it with a towel while you're in the sauna, and then say go out in the hallway, that sweat's going to evaporate, and you're just going to reabsorb the toxins that you released into your sweat. So you want to try to, as soon as you sweat, is wipe yourself down with a towel while you're in the sauna, and then have a cold shower, a cool shower in between, and maybe every 20 minutes. If you're in the sauna for 20 minutes, then when you start to sweat, and you sweat a fair bit, then wipe everything off, go and have a cool shower, and then come back in the sauna, start sweating again, wipe it off, and then go have a cool shower. So that's the idea. So that the toxins are in the towel rather than on your skin.
Yes, exactly. But that our sauna is just beside the shower, so that's what I do. I jump in the shower and then go back in the sauna. So it's really refreshing at the same time. And also breathing. You talk about breathing in your book. How important it is to do some deep breathing practice. So while you're in the sauna.
Yeah, the breathing improves the lymphatic circulation. So there's 2 things that improve the movement of the lymph. One is exercise, where your muscles are squeezing the lymphatic vessels, and the other is long, deep breathing. So, and your breathing, you'll also eliminate more carbon dioxide, take in more oxygen, so everything will work a little bit better as you're doing long, deep breathing in the sauna. And, I had my sauna built into a room. And there happened to be a chimney against it. So one of the things that I had specially done is to install a fan. So we have a pipe going up the chimney, and then a fan in the lower part of the wall inside the sauna. And so the fan brings in the air from outside into the sauna, and then there's a vent at the top of the wall in the sauna that then takes the stale air, the warmer air that's risen, out. So I have this beautiful air circulation in my sauna, which I highly recommend if anyone can manage to do that, because it makes a huge difference in terms of the quality of air that you're breathing. It's one of the things that will happen in a sauna that doesn't have very good air circulation, or it'll happen the same will happen in a hot yoga class if there's not very good air circulation, is you'll inhale the toxins that you've just pushed out through your skin. So those toxins are partly airborne. And unless you are either wiping off your sweat all the time or you've got good air circulation, you'll breathe them back in. So ideally you want to have some sort of airflow inside the sauna so that doesn't happen.
Well, the one that you have a window, right? You have like a vent or a window.
I have a window in my door. Yeah, okay. And that leads, and I can open that, but I never do because I have the fan on that's just taking the air outside, which is kind of a little bit nicer than letting the air go in another part of the building. You know what I mean?
Yes. Absolutely.
So if it's possible to build it, I know many people can't because they don't have a chimney or a wall that they can vent out, but it makes a huge difference. I can stay in a lot longer when I have that the airflow with the fan.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
So that's a really good idea.
Yeah.
And going back with the supplements, you talked about the oil, which is very essential. Can we revisit again the other supplement, the extra supplements that you recommend, because those made a huge difference with me and also clients. And by the way, you're like everyone that I recommend the sauna. And then your book is part of the program. I ask clients to follow the direction for the Sauna Detoxification program from Dr. Sadhguru Kaur because that's the one I'm using.
Thank you. Okay.
But the extra supplements, curcumin, which I'm using. So why curcumin? Curcumin.
Curcumin helps with phase 2 liver detoxification. So NAC, N-acetylcysteine, and curcumin are really helpful. NAC will help the liver break down environmental chemicals and excrete them, and so does the curcumin. So your liver will just be more efficient with its phase 2 detoxification pathways. You also need all of the B vitamins, for most of them anyhow. Most of the B vitamins to help with liver detoxification. You need lots of magnesium, maybe 600 milligrams a day of magnesium. So we just want to maximize what the liver is already doing to do it a little bit better. And those are some of the things that help a lot.
So curcumin, NAC, did you mention alpha lipoic acid?
Alpha lipoic acid is another one, that assists with liver detoxification, and it's a really good antioxidant as well.
Okay.
And then indole-3-carbinol is possible too, especially if it's women who have had breast cancer that are doing the sauna detox, and that's a useful one.
Okay. Well, you recommend the carbinol or the DIM, so either.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and
then a really good multivitamin. So you need zinc, you need selenium, molybdenum helps with liver detoxification. So you want to have a good multivitamin. And I was working with a patient once who we did a really extensive blood test for her while she was using the sauna. She was a woman who had breast cancer, and I found that the test we did was called the Ion Profile by Metametrics, and it's extensive. It looks at all the amino acids, all the essential fatty acids, all the vitamins, minerals, etc. And what we found was, like, she was taking a full dose of Maxim Multivite by Genestra, which is quite a good multivitamin supplement. She's taking 5 a day. She actually needed to take 10 a day to have what she needed to help her body detox while she was doing the sauna. So even though she was taking a high amount, when we tested her, all of her nutrients were low because of the sauna. So I had to really crank up the multivitamin for her to support the level of detoxification that was happening. And part of that was also because her absorption wasn't the greatest. And so it's really important to be aware of that some people may not be absorbing their nutrients very well, and they might need more of this basic detox package of nutritional supplements until their digestion is improved, or they've detoxed sufficiently that they don't need so much. That was really interesting for me to see.
Yeah, but also too, my experience was for a few weeks, my legs were really sore and cramps, and I really believed that I was deficient in mineral salt because I was so aggressive with the sauna.
Yeah.
So that's when I
that would be probably
salt.
Magnesium and potassium, right? You would have been low in the cramps.
Yeah, and in a few days I saw like there was a huge difference. Something I've tried, and I didn't do well with that recommendation, and it was niacin supplementation during sauna therapy.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, let's talk about that.
I don't do that anymore. It was when I first put this book together, so you've got the Complete Natural Medicine Guide to Women's Health. So that was 2005, and up until that point in time, the people that were skilled with sauna detox therapy were recommending niacin because it helped to push out more chemical residues, is what they said. But when I talked to Walter Crinion, Dr. Walter Crinion, who is a sort of a detoxification expert from the United States, he said that the niacin would actually slow things down. So I stopped using it.
Yeah, that's because there was, I think there was, what's his name? Mercola was, there was an interview on his website, Mercola, and then jumping on the trampoline using niacin, and that's pretty heavy. I don't know. I love your protocol. Yeah, I think it's very gentle and it's doable as well. So.
Right. Good.
What, you wanted to add something? about the night?
No, I think that's fine. Just wanted to clarify my website. So I know there no longer is the Healthy Breast Program website. It's just in the MamAlive. So my website is MamAlive, MamAlive.net, or my website for my naturopathic practice is trilliumhealingarts.ca, and then the website for Kundalini Yoga is kundaliniyogatraining.com.
That is many websites to get in touch
Yeah.
with. We have a question from Tracy, and Tracy is asking, can you provide a good resource for buying either the bentonite clay and activated charcoals? And I know you didn't mention Pasco, but Pasco was for the mineral salt.
Pasco is for the mineral salts. Well, you can get bentonite and then charcoal at most health food stores, and I don't really think charcoal is charcoal and bentonite is bentonite. It's not. Innovite makes a good bentonite, I think. They make a sort of a semi-liquid bentonite, Innovite.
Yes.
You can get that at a health food store. And the activated charcoal, I would just go with whatever's at a health food store. I don't have any particular brands that I recommend for those.
Okay, but the bentonite, and I know which one you recommend. It's at every health food store. So
yeah.
Okay, so and also, Dr. Carr, can you your telephone number again is 519. If you need, you can actually contact Dr. Carr at the office. It's 519-372.
372-9212.
9212. Okay.
Yeah.
And also, her 2 books are available on Amazon. Also on her website. Go to Chapters, Indigo. Is it available in the States as well?
Yeah, it should be. Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
So the Complete Natural Medicine Guide to Breast Cancer and the Complete Natural Medicine Guide to Women's Health. And people can also order them from me if they can't find them elsewhere.
Okay. Anything else you would like to add? The latest research? What are you working on your next book? Any project for the fall, for the winter, or?
What I'm doing right now is putting together a very succinct 4-season cleanse that includes the yoga. So we're calling it the 4-season yoga cleanse. So I'm taking what's in the Complete Natural Medicine Guide to Women's Health. Yeah. And then designing a 40-day program that includes the yoga as well as diet, as well as herbs and a few supplements that people can do each season, 40 days, 4 times a year. And it would include the yoga sets and meditations for those 2 organs, as well as a particular diet that nourishes those organs, as well as a particular herbal tea and a few supplements. So I'm really having fun with that. And I mentioned at the start that if anyone wants to jump on that now, you could start Tuesday in Toronto at Lotus Yoga Studio, or it will also be offered next week on Tuesday as an online program. So you can email me if you'd like to do the online program of the fall cleanse, and we could give you access to the yoga videos and email you the PDF for the diet, etc. Send you the bag of tea. But I'm really excited about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because it simplifies it, and I'm excited about getting a group together that does it together, and it's a really great experience.
Yes. So and then the online. So is there do you have a website? Do you have a link for the online? Or
the best thing would be probably to it'll be on kundaliniyogatraining.com, but it's not there yet. Best thing would just be to email me and let me know if you'd like to do it. So it's satdharamkaur@gmail.com. satdharamkaur@gmail.com.
Well, if you can let me know, if you can send me an email, because all my audios will be available on my blog as of now, so it's no longer going to go into the paid member area. So when the audio will be ready on my blog, the replay will be ready tomorrow. So if you send me an email and you let me know, give me all the information, I'll post it on.
Sure. That'd be awesome.
I would love to. I would love to participate. Anything from you, Dr. Carr. I so appreciate the work that you've done, the 2 books that you wrote, which for people like myself, practitioners, it's a great resource, and I truly, truly, truly love your work. And so you've been listening to Dr. Sadhnaram Kaur. Get yourself a copy of the Complete Natural Medicine Guide to Women's Health. That's the book we've been talking about, and the recipe of the herbal tea is there. And you have many recipes in the book, and also the Complete Natural Medicine Guide to Breast Cancer. You can call the office 519-372-9212 if you're interested in joining the online fall cleanse. Send Dr. Kaur an email, and your email again, it's sadhnaramkaur.com. Or what's your email again?
sadhnaramkaur@gmail.com.
@gmail.com. And but as soon as you provide the information, it's going to be posted on my blog. So,
okay,
Dr.
great.
Kaur, thank you again.
You're welcome.
For an
thank
amazing
you, Nancy.
interview.
Have a beautiful weekend.
And enjoy your fall and winter, and let's connect in the new year.
Okay. You take care.
Okay. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.